And those are the issues that Mark and I can go back and forth on. Clear contrast, night and day difference. I talk about the fact that he voted for cap and tax or cap and trade proposal. The highest, greatest tax that this country will ever experience if it's passed. It will take jobs away. It'll cost us at least 300,000 jobs, minimum. At least. It'll make us less secure. Do you know we can't produce our own fighter jet fuel for the new age fighter jets? That fuel is based on liquefied coal. Because of our environmental requirements we have in this country, that has to be produced offshore, Saudi Arabia and other places. What does that say about our defense capabilities if they decide to pull away from us? That's not the direction we should go. When we cannot, we have the Department of Energy, for instance. People have asked me, would you support getting rid of the Department of Education? Yes. Department of Energy? Yes. Until it becomes the Department of Energy. Right now it's a department of keep us away from energy. Put all sorts of red tape regulations in the way of energy producers. We need to change that. So I offered legislation which was a total contrast to cap and trade. And my legislation was an all of the above plan. And it was taken by the Senate and used as well when I was in Congress. But it did simple things. It said, let's give incentives to people, individual citizens, and corporations to develop new ideas of energy. Let's use bio. Let's use wind and solar. Let's use hydrogen. Let's use water, or whatever else we can use. Let's be creative and find ways. And let's give incentives to do that. But incentives with stipulations, that at a point in time you have to prove that it works. We just don't keep giving subsidies for lost causes. But then in the meantime, let's use the resources we have. When we're the Saudi Arabia of coal, why not use clean coal technology, which we have capability? Let's not leave the coal in the ground. We can use it environmentally sound. We cannot provide enough power to regenerate the batteries in electric cars with wind and solar. We just can't. Number one, we don't have enough of it yet, the wind and solar generators, to do that. But number two, our people aren't going to accept that. We need coal-fired plants to at least carry on for the time being. When we have over 100 plus years, at the most conservative guesstimates, of oil up in the Anwar region. Then you think of the Bakken Reserve out in Montana, Wyoming, northwestern states, and the Marcellus Reserve over in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio. And we're not using them. We have resources for petroleum and natural gas that could be used very well to continue our progress as we find new and better means of doing it. When Mr. Moore, who was one of the founders of Greenpeace, for the last 4 or 5 years has been crying out saying, America needs to go to nuclear power because it's the greenest form of energy. Produces no greenhouse gas effect or carbon emissions. Let's take this guy up on his word, and if Greenpeace and others say it's okay, let's do it. France does it so well, 75% of their power is generated by nuclear power. And they've not blown anybody up, and the only glowing that I've seen in French men and women is from good wine. But beyond that, it's certainly not from nuclear power. And they have ways of dealing with the waste as well. I think we need to come into that age also and reduce the unnecessary regulations, the siting, the permitting process, and deal with the fact that we have to store this waste. Let's increase the ability to recycle so we can store less waste. We can have more power. My bill would have done all of that, given incentives to do that, and reduce the disincentives of regulatory red tape that goes on. On the issue of health care, another issue that Mark Schauer and I will deviate from being equal on. He voted for the takeover of health care, which will ultimately result in less quality health care in the United States, which will force physicians to decide whether they continue or whether they become employees to the state ultimately. discouragement factor that'll go on there alone will cause a rationing that will take place from a lack of doctors and medical providers that will be out there.